Hi, welcome to Life in a Bottle, Season 2, Episode 48. I am Kyle, as all of our loyal subscribers know, and I am coming at you with another New World beauty this week. We are in the United States. We're in California. We are in the North Coast region of California. A little bit more specifically, we are in Sonoma County. And the emphasis here, it comes from a couple of different sites, but we'll get into that, is largely in the Russian River Valley AVA of Sonoma County. This is the 2018 Lioco Sonoma County Chardonnay. Lioco is a producer that we've worked with for quite some time, far longer than my tenure at the company. It's a friend of the company, Matt, and his wife Sarah own and run the winery. They don't own any vineyards. They purchase all the fruit that they use, but they work very closely with the growers, so they're able to place a lot of emphasis on holistic viticulture. So very minimal intervention. The focus is on sustainability. They're doing things in the vineyard to benefit not just the grapes, but also the health of the vines, the health of the local ecosystem. So these are all things we like to hear because sustainability in wine is a very good thing. And oftentimes, as is evidenced here, it leads to interesting complexity. So before we get too much into complexity, we'll talk a little bit more about the Russian River Valley and Sonoma County in general. So they're kind of at the same latitude as Napa, just 20 miles closer, well, that way, to the Pacific Ocean. And what that gets us is a little bit more moderating influence from the water. It's going to be just a little bit cooler than Napa, but how that's going to translate is you're going to have very warm, sunny days and then nice, chilly evenings, like we're having in Connecticut and most of the Northeast now. And what that does is a couple of different things. The abundant sunshine and warmer temperatures during the day give us ripe fruit. So there's going to be some juiciness, there's going to be a little bit of richness, there's going to be maybe just a touch more alcohol than especially some of the old world wines that we do specials on, and we'll get to that again in a sec. But those cool nights have a really interesting effect in that it helps the grapes retain beautiful acidity. So we get the balance of richness and ripe fruit while still having that beautiful freshness that carries the wine without being heavy and clumsy, which is kind of what Matt wanted when he started the Lioco project. Felt like there were a lot of California wines between Chardonnay and Pinot Noir that were just kind of ham-fisted, kind of clumsy, and kind of just focused on powerful without too much nuance. And nuance is the name of the game with all of Lioco wines, from this offering up to their single vineyard stuff. So to get into the glass, the wine is absolutely beautiful. Super light, clear as I spill. Got some beautiful gold and straw in there, some darker reflections, but it's still very light. On the nose, the wine is super aromatic. It does see malolactic fermentation. It is fermented in stainless steel, so there's no oak influence, but there is some butteriness that comes through. And I feel like buttery is polarizing because so often when it's a buttery wine, it's rich and heavy and decadent, and this is not that. It does have some richness to it, but it's not clumsy. It's still, I don't want to say dainty, but on the delicate side. Stony mineral. There's some great tree fruit, some tart green apple that you expect from classic kind of lower ABV Chardonnay. There's a little stone fruit in there too, a little nectarine, maybe some white peach. And then there's a delicate perfume, and it's almost like there's some dried flower to it. There's some dried herbaceousness coming through. And almost like a tea. Like an herbal tea. On the palate, that freshness is the first thing you notice. You get a little bit of the pucker, but it's not super tart. It's very well balanced. There's a little bit of texture that kind of backs it up, especially towards the back end. And then that butteriness is there, but it's not overwhelming. It's still delicate. Again, the acidity is beautiful. It's got some weight to it. It's got some creaminess. And again, part of that comes from the malolactic fermentation that it's undergoing. And another part of that comes from the fact that it's aged on lees in the stainless steel barrels. So the yeast cells fall out of the wine after it ferments, and if they leave those in there, it adds that beautiful richness and complexity. As far as pairings go, the first thing that comes to my head is sauteed scallops with sweet summer corn. And right now you can still get your hands on some of those things, so I think corn would be beautiful with this. Maybe some green peppers in there. You could throw a little bit of spice because of the fruit and the weight that it carries, but again, something nice and fresh, maybe a little arugula across the top would be beautiful. You can pair this just as easily with lemon chicken, a slice of pizza, or some cheese and crackers. I think a little bit of soft cheese, not too soft, nothing too funky, would be really beautiful with this. There's some great acidity to help balance that out, and again, those subtle aromatics would accent them really beautifully. So, Matt, Sarah, killer wine. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers.